Thank you. Okay, Pirke Avoth Perek Dalet Mishnah Yud Dalet fourth Perek mishna14. Rabbi Yanai Omer. Rabbi Yanai says, En beyadin. We have nothing to offer. We have no answer. In our hand, we just don't know enough. Lo mishelvat harishayim, from perceived shalva, right, serenity, happiness of rishaim, ve'af lo miyusurei sadikim, and also not for the reason of yisurei sadikim, for the yisurim, for the difficulties that sadikim have. We have no explanation. Moshe Rabbeinu, of all people, Moshe Rabbeinu asked this question.
Right.
And what did Hashem tell him? Hashem told him two answers. Number one, it's not only them, it's their parents also. You got to go generations back. So the first answer is, how much vision do we have? How much vision do we have? Really, there are some people who we think that they look forward, they're forward thinking, and they think that they make a move in business, that 3 years down the line we see how smart it was. They think what? 2 years, 3 years down the line? Now, most people don't think of tomorrow. Most people are thinking of it right now. Right? So Hashem told Moshe, how much is your vision? 50 years, 100 years? We have no true vision to be able to just even without anything else. I'm going to get to the second answer that Hashem told Moshe in a second. But the first answer was within the realm of this world. The second answer is that this world is incomplete to begin with. But even if we don't want to go to the second answer yet, the first answer, even this world itself, how much is our vision? How much of the movie have you seen? How much of the movie have you seen to ask a question? Right? I don't know if I said this here before, but I've said this. Goliath comes and he challenges the Jewish nation, if anybody is going to come against me. So nobody dares, nobody goes. So he gets very hard. He starts to curse Mecharef, he disrespects the Jews, he puts them down. And not only that, he starts to Hashem. Your Hashem doesn't know, the Hashem can't do anything to me. He puts down Hashem Mecharef, the worst thing he says. And when he's standing there, he says it for an hour, for 2, for 3 hours, for a whole day, for 2 days, for 3 days, day after day. And when he's standing there, he says, I don't understand. Why is Hashem being so quiet? Hashem gives him so much. Why? Such a Rasha, he can't have wars. So you're a good warrior. Kol hakavod to you. What's with you, putting down and disrespecting? 40 days, he goes on and on. Goliath. 40 days, Mecharef u'migadev. Till finally, who takes him out? David HaMelech. Now, David HaMelech wasn't part of the army yet. He was young. What was he doing? His father said, your 3 brothers, his brothers were generals in the army, his older brothers. They were very, his older brothers were very, not more, decorated. They were decorated generals. And he says, go check up on them, bring him a care package. He takes a care package to them, basically. So he goes there, David, and he sees everybody is standing.
Tomato juice.
Right? Everybody is standing there. Nobody is fighting. He says, what's going on? Nobody dares go against this giant. Look at him.
Scary.
Look, nobody dares go against him. It was a giant. Right? So David HaMelech says, you know what? I got it. I'll do it. I know I could. So what are you talking about? You could. So he finally convinces. I says, look, I'm a shepherd for my father. A lion attacked the herd, and I went against the lion barehanded. I know what I'm doing. I got techniques and I got a strength. I got it. So they send David, and finally David is victorious. Question: Hashem wants Hashem wants Goliath defeated. Hashem wants David to be recognized. This is the first entrance of David HaMelech into the scene. Yeah, he couldn't do it 40 days earlier. Prevent all that time. What is this Shalvat Reshaim? Our Mishnah says the free reign they're giving, the freedom and the serenity. You want to do the miracle. You want David HaMelech to put him down. So the first Hashem couldn't work out that David HaMelech should bring a care package a month earlier. What's going on? What's going on? So Chaim tell us what? David and Goliath are really cousins. Third or fourth cousins. They're cousins. That's right. Naomi, when she went and married her two children, her two sons married Ruth and Orpah. They married. So now, I don't want to get into that. That's a separate discussion. But when they married, obviously, Zohar Chodesh says, obviously they became Jews. They went through a conversion process. However, when the husbands died, Naomi tried to send them back. Naomi tried, go back to your family, go back to your nation. Why? Why did she do that? It was a difficult thing for her to do.
So they choose.
That's right. When they got married to my sons, we were wealthy, and they were the royal family. Elimelech was the direct descendant of Yehuda. They were the family of the kings. So when they got married, we were wealthy, very recognized people. Now that they're both passed away, and we are poor, nothing is left for us. So now is the time to make sure that they accepted Torah, they accepted Hashem truly for the sake of Hashem, not for the sake of money, not for the sake of marrying into the royal family. They had converted, they had said all these things. But Naomi had to make sure. So she says, go back. What do you want to stay here? Go back. Go back, go to your families. There's nothing left for you. You're looking at a difficult life. So originally they both say, no, we're Jews, doesn't matter. Poor or rich, we're Jews. We're going to stick with you. So Naomi continues to tell them, go back, and they're walking with her no. So finally Orpah says, yeah, you're right, I'll go back. But Ruth, nothing doing. Ruth sticks with her, says, I don't care. Says, look, where you sleep, I'll sleep. Where you die, wherever you buried, I'm buried. I don't care. It doesn't pay for me. By the way, that's what true conversion means. I have a choice to be the daughter of a king, but not have that relationship with Hashem. Not have a Shabbat. Not have a Yom Kippur. Or I could have a relationship with Hashem and be a pauper. Be dirt poor. But I'll have a Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, you remember what Yom Kippur feels like? It's so close to Hashem. Which one do you choose? That's the true conversion. Of course, that was the question. What do I need to be a princess for? Now, obviously, it's not an easy decision. But what the story of 1992. I was in Eretz Israel. Most of you probably have been to Zichron Moshe, yes? The shul Zichron Moshe in Yerushalayim. There is a shul Zichron Moshe in Yerushalayim near the Geula neighborhood. They have minyanim there, more or less 20 hours a day. There are minyanim. Right, there are minyanim starting from Netz till an hour past midnight. It's like Musayaf. It's close. It's a few blocks away. It's a little bit busier than Musayaf, to be honest with you. It's called Zichron Moshe. It's named after Moshe. What's the phrase? Montefiore. That's right. He was the one who built. He donated the land. It's
next to the.
Well, it was there originally. Yes. So they start Daf Yomi there, and then there are minyanim one after another. Every 5 minutes there's another minyan. Shachrit goes into Mincha, Mincha goes into Arvit, and it's an amazing place. It's an amazing place. So this old Yerushalmi Jew, Long Beach, walks slowly, slowly, is there for the Nets Minyan, right, 1992. There was the election. When Bill Clinton was elected, right? So he goes, the ways. You know who's the president of the United States? This is before Shachrit. Standing by the door of the shul, the old Jew wants to know who's the president. So, no, I haven't listened to the news yet. The election was yesterday. Everybody, you know who's the president. You know who's the president. So finally, one of the nurses says, oh, excuse me, Abba, Father, Saba, he says, come on, you're such a news junkie. You can come, pray, do shachrit, and then go listen to news. You need to know now. I said, no, I don't need to know the news. I'm not a news junkie. He says, when I say the bracha, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam shelo asani goy, what are we thanking Hashem for? What do you usually have in your mind when you say shelo asani goy? The hornless bomb on the corner? I'm not him. That's what you're thanking Hashem. You're thanking, he says, I thank Hashem that I have a relationship, I have a Shabbat, I have a Yom Kippur, I could have a Yom Kippur, the option of having Yom Kippur and being the most powerful person in the world who doesn't have the relationship of Yom Kippur. Which one would you rather be? The bracha says, I rather have the relationship. So every day, when I say, Baruch Shelo Asani Goy, I'm thinking of the President of the United States, the most powerful man in the world. The most powerful, and I imagine I'm given that chance, but not have the relationship. Or could be any chas v'shalom lowly nothing who has the relationship. The relationship is much, much more than the most powerful man in the world. That's how I make a bracha. So that's what Ruth said. Ruth said, what do you mean? I'm not going back. Your God is my God, your place is my place. So Ruth stayed, and she remained Jewish. Orpah, originally, first she was steadfast, but it didn't last. She went back. Chachamim say, Orpah went 40 steps with Naomi. 40 steps. Naomi was trying, go back. No, I want to remain Jewish. For 40 steps, she held on. And then she went back. She had children. And she had a grandchild or a grand-grandchild named Goliath. So now Goliath is here, Mecharef u'megadef, day after day after day. And the onlooker says, what's wrong with Hashem? What's wrong? You want to do a miracle. You want to send David HaMelech, so let him come in 1/3. No, not going to happen. Because Orpah, his great-grandmother, stuck up for Hashem. Stuck up for the relationship. She eventually didn't go all the way, but for a while she did. 40 steps. A day per step. Every step she took is one more day of zechut for her offspring. Goliath, one more day you weren't good, but you have the zechut, you still could stop. You still could go back. Not to be a Jew, but at least to be a respectful, normal, non-Jew. But Noach. And another day, till the 40th day. Now you're already exhausted all your options. But it's still, you haven't exhausted all your options. Who could defeat Goliath? Only Ruth's great-grandchild. Ruth, who was in your position, Orpah. And she stuck it. Her grand-grandchild has a zechut to take you out. Nobody else in the Jewish army could go against Goliath. Because you don't have that zechut. Who could put themselves in the position of Orpah? Right? Still, Orpah's zechut was only 40 steps, so it was great. But Ruth, who was in the same position and stuck, now, so therefore, Mishnah says, we can't explain the serenity, the success that we perceive Rishaim have, and the hardship, difficulties, challenges, pains that tzaddikim may have, we have no way of answering it. So Gemara in Bracha says that Moshe, as I said, Moshe Rabbeinu asked Hashem, and there are two answers. One answer is within this physical realm. Our vision is even within, before going out of this world, dealing with the world. That's the second answer. The spiritual component of it. Our vision of the world is very limited. Very limited. To understand the story of Goliath, you must remember 60, 70, 80, 100 years ago. Or any other story. We want to make sense out of a fraction of a movie. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. That's part of the problem. Why we have these type of questions. The second part is, how do you know what is success and what is difficult? That's the second answer Hashem told Moshe. How do you know? How do you even know? How do you even know? Right. Daf Yomi. Yesterday's Daf Yomi. So sometimes Hashem wants to give somebody wealth, but doesn't want him to go, work hard for it for years and years. So he gets somebody else. Right? Mr. So-and-so will be matzliach in his business. Year after year after year, he will do good. The business will be big, till eventually, when the right time,
the wrong time.
For him, the right time for that again. The one who Hashem truly wanted to get him will get it, but I just didn't want it. Didn't want to trouble him 20 years working hard. So Daf Yomi said, who did that? Haman. Haman was very, very successful, very, very wealthy, build a house, and then a better house, and a palace, and a this, and a that. Why? Because Hashem wanted Mordechai to have a palace. Right? If Kido al Bet Haman. Hashem wanted Mordechai to have a palace, but come on. Mordechai come and deal with the contractors and the carpenters. Mordechai has better things to do. Excuse me?
He had Torah studies.
He has better things to do. So let Haman build it. Then you could get it. So that's that's the second answer. The second answer is, how do we even know what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is not good? First answer is, it's a long term. It's a long term. Tzaddik ben Rasha. What do you know about the past? What do you know about previous generations? What do you know about the future? So the first one is within the realm of this world. The second one is in the spiritual world of it. We have to match it together with Olam Haba. Right? We all know the story of Reb Chaim ben Dosa. Reb Chaim ben Dosa, greatest tzaddik, but he was poor. So the whole story, right? He would go next to the sea and gather salt. That's how he made parnasa. He would dig holes. The water would come into the holes during the day, and then it would evaporate. Salt would remain in the bottom. We would go gather the salt, sell the salt. That was his parnasa.
Who's this?
Reb Chaim ben Dosa. He couldn't afford a donkey to carry the salt, so he carried the salt on his back. Now salt is very rough, so coarse salt. It's very coarse.
Yeah.
He would cut his back. He had a lot of cuts in his back. One day he's coming, and what happens? You all know this story. It starts to rain. Rain melts the salt, goes right into his cuts. Very painful. Very painful. So he says, Hashem, you brought rain. Rain is bracha. Everybody is happy with rain. But it should be hurtful to me, your bracha. So as soon as he says that, the rain stops. Rain stops. Chaim ben Dosa says the rain is hurting him. So he comes home, he gets home, he changes, cleans up. He says, Hashem, that's not fair. The whole world should suffer because of me. Because he was paying, the rain starts again. So the wife says, come on. It takes you seconds. Your prayer, you're at such a level, your prayer goes right to Hashem. Pray for money. Why do we have to suffer so much poverty? Pray for a better life. No, I don't want to pray. You must. So she finally convinces him. And he prays, and this loud noise comes. They go in the backyard, something fell, and it looks like a leg of a table made of pure gold. Like half a ton of gold, who knows? Huge. Wow. That's right. So that night she dreams what? Everybody's table has 4 legs. There's 3, or everybody has 3 legs. Theirs has 2. Theirs has 2. So she comes and tells, I'm not interested. All of a sudden, the vision is greater. It's not only this world. There is another world. You have to fit the puzzle together. You have to fit the puzzle together. Who says what is success and what is not success if you don't know the whole picture? You do not know the whole picture. And just to finish the story, he prays and they take it back. It disappears. And Chachamim say the greatness you really know not from the fact that he came, from the fact that he went back. Because from Shemayim they give bracha, taking bracha back from the physical world to the spiritual world. That is a feat that is not done usually. The greatness of Rav Chaim ben Dosa, you see the fact that he prayed and they said, okay, we'll take it back. We'll take it. Their deals are usually no refunds, final sale. Their deals are, final sale. They're willing to give, they're willing to sell, but not good. So therefore, Rab Yanai says we do not have the tools. What does En Beyadenu means? We literally do not have the tools to be able to answer fully. Even within our logic, we realize we don't. We don't know the whole length of the story. Historically, we don't know. The first answer. The second answer is we don't know the whole picture because we do not have a full comprehension of afterlife. This is a very, very short amount of our life. 120 years we are here. It's very, very, it's compared to 1,000 years is nothing, right? So now imagine compared to 1,000,000 years, billion years. Eternity is endless. Billion is nothing compared to eternity. Good. Do we have a Rambam on this? No, I do not see a Rambam. Okay. You have time to continue?
10:50.
Okay, you have time to continue. Good, let's go. Matya ben Charash Omer. Matya ben Charash says, have a makdim b'shlom kol adam. Right? Be the first to extend greetings and shalom to everybody. Kol adam. What does Gemara say about kol adam? Doesn't matter who. Kol adam does not is what? No. There are no specification what race, what ethnicity, what religion, who, what not. You greet everybody. You greet everybody. And you should prefer to be a tail for lions and not a head for the foxes. We were talking about this yesterday, Mr. Banadarian, right? Okay, so the first part is, we talked about that, we had the Mishnah before also. One has to realize, Rambam says, we discussed this Rambam here once, but I say it again. Rambam says that a person should not scream and be rough and speak, hurtfully. Kechayot ubehemot, like animals. I don't think Rambam says this any other place, this type of language. Why does he say that?
You go to football games and
Don't scream. Be nice. Be pleasant talking. Don't scream and be rough in your speech. Animals, they neigh and they roar. Not humans. But what is he saying? I believe this is the only place where Rambam talks like this. I think he's saying something very important. Do animals communicate? Do animals communicate? Do they?
Of course.
They do. They do communicate. So what is the difference between us and animals as far as our speech goes? So, we speak like this, we communicate like this, they communicate in a different way. However it is they communicate with the movement of their tail, they communicate with this, they communicate with that. So what's the difference? What's the difference between us and them?
Neshama.
Good, I'm not talking about that. In our communication, what's the big deal about power of speech?
We can use
Speak when
words.
you
And so they use other things. So they don't use words. So what?
imagination.
That's right. See the difference that Neshama gives us. I've said this before. Kuzari says an animal has capacity for memory, has no capacity for imagination. An animal could remember something, and based on that memory, it has intelligence, but it has no intelligence for imagination. Cannot imagine something. So that means an animal sees a person pick up a stick and hit another animal or hit it. Next time sees a stick, it runs away. But an animal who's never seen cannot imagine, this stick could be hurtful, could be dangerous. An animal has no imagination. That's why the animals don't ever invent something. The cow is sitting in its pen, it's sitting in the room, doesn't think, if there was a hole in the wall, the air would ventilate better, I would feel better. It cannot imagine a different scenario. It's got experience. This cow could realize, it's cooler in this room than that room. So it picks up this room over that room because it's experienced it. But it cannot imagine how I make that hot room cold. Somebody shows him what to do. He will have the experience to do it. But he doesn't have imagination. Humans have imagination. So that's why we constantly invent something. I gave this example not so long ago. Someone in Dubai, he had complaints about people that they're constantly complaining, I don't get sun, I do get sun, this side of the building, that side of the building. They were building a skyscraper. So he built a turning skyscraper, right? So every unit gets 1 month of the year facing east. And what happened? He was faced with a problem. He used his imagination how to overcome the problem, and that's what every invention in our human history. That's how it goes.
Birds make houses.
What?
Birds.
They have experience or instinct. It's one of the two. It's not imagination. It's either instinct. They're born with a lot of instinct, right? They know. Salmons know, although they're whatever. Salmons are born, right? The water takes, they lay eggs, the water takes them, the eggs, and then they hatch somewhere else. They all know to go back, right, where to feed. It's instinct. It's wired into their DNA. It's not imagination, Kuzari says.
It's not how big they build the house, how small.
Yes, it's all instinct.
Second story. That's
right. It's all instinct. It's all instinct. So therefore, I think what Rambam is saying is like this. That's why we need a speech. We could imagine a scenario we don't have in front of us. You see somebody's got a problem. You see somebody is angry. You see somebody can't get along. You could imagine something better. Now, for imagination, you need words. See, for experience, I could point and scream. For things that exist within my reality, I don't need words. I could point to them. I could scream at them. A lion screams. You know what he wants. This is bothering him. This is what he wants. For imagination, a reality that I want to make a reality it's not a reality yet. For that, you need words to communicate something that is not even here. That's what Rambam is saying. If we resort to screaming, then we really, really are not using our words. We're just pushing people just like Lahavdil an animal, because you're not using your imagination. Now, you could connect to a person, and that connection usually comes with an imagination. That's what it means. Anybody you see, doesn't matter who he is, you gotta use your imagination to connect.